Stocks are off to a soft start to the week but are off the lows of the day even as several global uncertainties linger. Auto and healthcare sectors are the big drags while consumer durables and IT managed to eke out some gains.
Indigo says it flew its 2,050 flights to all its 138 destinations, barring 2 due to technical issues on December 12th. The airline adds that its on-time performance has normalized per its standards. The stock sees some green.
The rupee is down to a fresh low of 90.77 against the US dollar, down 0.33% from its close on Friday. The fall is triggered by continued selling of equities and bonds by foreign investors. Dealers say that India's November trade data is due today and that the dealers fear that if the deficit is as large as October's $41 billion, then the rupee may fall further.
The Cabinet has cleared the insurance amendment bill that will now be introduced in Parliament, but CNBC-TV18 learns key clauses of composite licenses in open architecture may have been skipped to allow greater deliberation.
Good afternoon, you're with us here on Business Lunch. We are coming to you live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal studios. I'm Harmas Patakia. With me as always, Arundhati Ramanan. Arundhati, good afternoon.
Hi, Harmas. Good afternoon. I mean, the markets there starting the day with a little bit of a, hangover, but managed to recover from those losses, right?
Indeed, and we're still in the red off the lows of the day, and it's been the case for the last few days, right? Hovering between that 50 DEMA and the 20 DEMA. That's been the case for the index. It's a very narrow 300-point range at which the Nifty has been trading for over the last few trading sessions. 25,700 on the downside, still struggling to sustain above that 26,000 mark, still there as of now, but it'll be interesting to see whether these levels sustain as we go into the close. The good part is that the Dow futures as of now are trading with gains, at least 150 points higher on the Dow futures. The US indices have been on a bit of a selling spree over the last couple of days because of the lingering AI pressures. Of course, the Nasdaq futures are not as high as the Dow futures are. They are up only around 40-45 points, but they are in the green nonetheless. And of course, the broader markets, they were the big talking point all through last week. The broader markets, the mid-cap and the small-cap index had a far sharper rebound compared to the Nifty across Thursday and Friday. The mid-cap index as of now, off the highs of the day, is still around 170 points. The small-cap index, though, is trying to move into the green.
Absolutely. But as you pointed out, the Nifty Bank is the only one that's sort of in the green there. So some of those banking names that are leading from the front, you've got IDFC First Bank, Canara Bank, SBI, some of those names, gaining between 1% and 2%. Also, those FMCG companies, they're doing well as well. HUL, Marico, Britannia, all of them between 1% and 2% in the green. But that auto pack seeing big cuts, Bharat Forge, M&M and Eicher Motors, all of them in the red. But Harmas, the rupee is on top of mind with everybody.
Oh, the rupee continues to be the talking point, right? Of course, we could take that as a positive that it's not turning out to be as big an overhang for the market as it had been when it started first to depreciate. But it's another record low for the currency today, 90.73 compared to Friday's close of 90.41. Now, the dealers spoke about a large RBI sell position in the NDF or the non-deliverables forward or the offshore market 1 month ago, which matures today, and that is pressuring the spot price. Lata is here with more on this. Lata.
Yeah, actually, it's yet another day and yet more FPI dollar buying. But the specific reason today, what makes it different from 2 days ago, is that this 1 month ago sell position that RBI entered in the NDF market was a 1 month sell buy, and that NDF market pressures the spot market. In the spot market, the Reserve Bank has been supplying dollars, but as in the past several weeks, it is not trying to defend any level. It's just offering once in a way. So the market is kind of reconciled to further falls. The demand has come from equity FPIs, but dealers are saying increasingly we are also seeing demand from debt FPIs. Actually, year to date, we are positive on debt FPIs. It's an inflow of $8 billion. But lately, dealers are saying there is a sell because people are seeing the currency bleeding, and that's taking down their profit. So some selling is coming from that quarter as well. And then the most important number that dealers are looking at is the November trade deficit. A CNBC-TV18 poll gave us a number of about 29-30 billion trade deficit. This compares with 41 billion, which was the October trade deficit. We put it to one-offs, the economy getting used to the US tariffs and the festive season gold buying. If it were to surprise in the negative and be way over that 30 billion that the market is mentally prepared for, then there can be further reverses. Further attacks on the currency is what dealers worry. So important day to watch out.
So rupee hitting new lows there. Thank you so much for those details, Lata. But moving on, branded pharma formulation company Corona Remedies listed at a 38% premium to its issue price today. Earlier, we spoke to the management about the company's growth outlook going ahead. Take a look.
As far as our core therapies or core strategy is concerned, our aim is to grow a little better than the IPM. IPM is growing by 8%. Our growth, aspiration is to grow by 1.5 to 2%, 2 times than the IPM. And as far as profitability is concerned, we have tried to, as revenue growth has been coming, somehow we have been getting the profit advantages, and that's been also continuing the same line as per the past year's performance. If you look at overall, we will grow about 1.5 times in the revenue, and similarly about 18-20% on the part of the PAT. EPS percentage growth will be in the line of 18 to 20%. That's our goal is.
Holding on to gains of 37% is Corona Remedies, a very strong listing today. Shares of almost 1,450 crores have already been traded on its listing day. But the other listing of the day was home furnishings company Wakefit, and it saw a subdued debut. Listed at its IPO price, fell at as much as almost 9% and then has recovered from the lows. Now, we earlier spoke to Chaitanya Ramlinge Gowda, the promoter and the executive director of the company, who spoke about the company's growth strategy going forward. Listen in.
But when I talked about margin improvement, a lot of the juice is going to come from furniture. Like I said, because it's just a 3-year-old venture, plus we put up one of India's largest greenfield projects to manufacture furniture in Hosur. It's beyond Hosur, and that is where it's state-of-the-art, world-class, furniture manufactured by robots, completely automated, and that is where the utilization is steadily going up. And this factory has the potential to take furniture to 3x revenue from where we are currently. So that is a big fixed cost absorption coming our way, where we are sweating the fixed asset. We should be growing at a company level, we should be growing in the early 20% kind of a ballpark, which we'll have to, all the strategies that I talked about, omni-channel expansion, opening up the new category, premiumization of the overall category, all of those things will contribute to that estimated growth that we are projecting and working towards.
A whole host of stocks were buzzing in trade on the back of news. Ria Bhatia joins us now to give us a roundup of all of those stocks. Ria?
Well, yeah, starting off with PVR Inox, which has been in focus after opening 5 new screens in Hyderabad, and the company has also been in focus on the back of Dhurandar's success, which clocked roughly 351 crores in box office collections. Moving on, Indigo has also been in focus after the company issued a statement saying that they have operated roughly 2,050 flights on the 13th of December across all 138 destinations, and on-time performance has also been consistently normal as per Indigo standards. Reflex Industries has been trading higher in today's session. The company has issued a statement saying that search operations initiated by the Income Tax Department on the 9th of December have been concluded late evening on December 13th, and the company has not received any communication, notice or order from the Income Tax Department till date, and this is contrary to reports suggesting adverse outcomes, which is why the stock has been trading higher in today's session. Amber Enterprises has also been in focus. The management has reiterated their guidance at a recent analyst meeting, implying a strong 13 to 15% outperformance to industry standards in consumer durables. In FY26, the company is expecting to clock roughly 10 to 15% YOY growth in the RAC segment and 35 to 40% YOY growth in the electronic segment as well. NLC India has been in focus after receiving an LOA from the NCR Transport Corporation for setting up a 110 megawatt AC grid connected solar PV power projects in Uttar Pradesh. Ashoka Buildcon has received an order worth roughly 1,041 crores from BMC for construction work, and KEC International has also bagged orders worth roughly 1,150 crores in its T&D segment, and this is the largest order for its India T&D business so far. The last stock that we're focusing on is Bandhana Sphoorti. This one has also been in focus since a board meeting is to be held on the 17th of December to consider and approve NCDs on a private placement basis, and apart from this, GPT Infra Projects has also been in focus since the JV company has been declared L1 in an order valued roughly 1,739 crores.
Ria, thank you for all of those stocks that are in focus today. GPT Infra 2 trading with gains of around 2%. Moving on, Ramesh Damani, veteran investor and member of the BSE, has argued that decline of the United States is inevitable under President Donald Trump. He also shared insights about his investment criteria. Listen in.
I think the decline and fall of the American century is upon us. I mean, this is a country I worshipped, and for 100 years it's been the beacon for free markets. I think Trump has forever changed the political dynamics of America. And even if a new president comes, it won't be easy to change back. So my feeling is that it'll be like Great Britain. It was a power to reckon with, and ultimately they spent themselves out because of world wars, weakened themselves. And today it's a power, but still not one of the great powers of the world. It's really hard for me to say that, but I think America will follow the same trajectory. Concentration versus diversification. Unlike Ramdev, who runs a very concentrated portfolio, and he actually, I think it helps to know yourself and know your companies to run that. I run a very diversified portfolio. If Ramdev tells me an idea, I'll buy some shares. I may not make it a core position, but I'll buy some shares. But my criteria for judging my performance is very simple. Have I doubled my net worth over a 3-year period? And India is giving you that kind of opportunity to double your net worth. If you've done that, you're fine. What does it matter how you run your portfolio? There are many ways to skin a cat. So as long as my wealth is moving, doubling every 3 years, I'm on the right track. I'm not very particular about, I would like to be a more constant portfolio, but I don't think intellectually I'm equipped to do it, because I get very scared of making a big unsurmountable loss, particularly as I'm aging.
On that note, it is time for us to head into a short break, but more news and updates on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still with us on Business Lunch. The national capital is engulfed in a thick blanket of smog, with AQI readings in 4 regions exceeding the 500 mark. GRAP4 measures have been implemented in the city, with AQI readings maxed out. Visibility has also sharply dropped in the city, resulting in severe flight cancellations. Abhimanyu Sharma gets us more.
A fog alert has been sounded in several parts of northern India due to decreased visibility, which has impacted travel plans severely, which has also exacerbated the situation which was persisting due to a deterioration in air quality. The AQI has fallen, which has led to imposition of GRAP4 restrictions in the Delhi NCR region. Travel plans have been impacted. Speaking about cancellations of flights at the Delhi airport, 61 flights till now have been reported as cancelled, and 5 flights have been diverted so far. Now, both the airport authorities as well as airlines across northern India are working to resolve these disruptions and to minimize delays to reduce any inconvenience to passengers. Some days back, a fog alert had been issued by Air India, and they had indicated that an option had been given to passengers for a complimentary reschedule or a full refund at no penalty for weather-related delays. Indigo has issued a statement and has indicated that some flights may experience delays and few may be proactively cancelled to prioritize safety and minimize waiting at airports. Now, it's a dynamic situation. It remains to be seen how it's going to pan out in the next few hours, in the next few days, even as action is underway, not just from the ministry's side, but also airlines and airport authorities are working to minimize delays.
Abhimanyu, thank you for that update there, and some flashes on your screen from SBI. The Appointments Committee of the Cabinet has approved the appointment of Rajiv Ranjan as the Managing Director at SBI. He is currently the Deputy Managing Director. Take a short break. More news and updates on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, in some somber news, Australia is mourning after its worst gun violence in nearly 30 years as a deadly shootout at a Jewish celebration in Sydney's Bondi Beach has left 16 people dead. Police say that the two alleged gunmen were a father and son duo. The 50-year-old father was killed at the scene while his 24-year-old son remains in critical condition. Officials have described the attack as a targeted anti-Semitic assault. Around 40 people remain hospitalized, including 2 police officials.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has proposed abandoning NATO ambitions in exchange for Western security guarantees during peace talks in Berlin on Sunday. The move marks a major shift as Kiev seeks to end the war with Russia without ceding territory. Take a look at this report.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has offered to drop his country's bid to join the NATO military alliance in exchange for Western security guarantees. The proposal came ahead of 5 hours of peace talks with U.S. diplomats in Berlin on Sunday. It marks a major shift for Ukraine, which has fought to join NATO as a safeguard against future Russian attacks, and even has the aspiration in its constitution. The shift also meets one of Russia's war aims, although Kiev continues to hold firm against ceding territory to Moscow. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff said a lot of progress was made in Berlin, though full details were not divulged. Ukraine said Zelensky would comment on the talks on Monday once they were completed, with officials considering the draft documents. A Reuters source said German Chancellor Friedrich Merz made brief remarks before leaving the two sides to negotiate. Other European leaders are also due in Germany for talks on Monday. Russian President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly demanded that Ukraine drop its NATO bid, pull troops from the remaining parts of the Donbas region that it still controls, and remain neutral with no NATO forces on its soil. Moscow sources said earlier this year that Putin also wants a written pledge from Western powers to halt NATO's eastward expansion, ruling out membership for Ukraine and other former Soviet states.
The Nifty is almost on the verge of turning positive now. 26,034, so back above the 20-day moving average. Just a smidge. They briefly moved into the green, but still now looking to cross that flat line and move higher. Some trade data on your screen as well. Merchandise trade deficit has declined, and the overall trade figures should also be on your screen. So that has declined from 31.9 billion to 24.5 billion. The trade deficit has now declined 23.2% to 24.5 billion from 31.9 billion on the same period last year. So trade data figures coming in. We'll get you more details as the day goes by. But we take your leave on this edition of Business Lunch. Arundhati and I say thank you for watching. Midcap Radar on the other side.